Yes, it's time to talk sports because that's what we do right here on 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Welcome to the show. Well, the package today promises to be as incisive as ever. We're going to be talking about the NBA Finals as in Game 2 now. Game 2 was recently played and we're going to analyze that, talking something about beach volleyball as well as Nigeria is making inroads in that sport, which is something that we all want to see. And then we're going to be looking at some transfer rumors as well, or as my guests would like to call it, window shopping. Olawale Peters, thank you for coming on the show.
Good evening, Ibrahim. It's a pleasure to be back to the studio.
Yeah, it's always nice to have you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so let's get straight into the action. The NBA Finals in Game 2 now was actually recently played, and the Golden State Warriors beat the Celtics in Game 2 to tie that game 1 apiece. Well, it actually seems to be gearing up to be a very close NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, very close. And if you look at the aggregate results, 107 to 88,
exactly.
Winning 3 of the fourth quarter. So it's a very interesting one. And also, it's a game that's been loved by the Americans a lot. The way the Europeans love football,
exactly.
That's the way they love also the basketball and their own American football. So I think it's a very good one. Then also for Draymond Green, also of the Warriors, it's good to see him making his 188 assists. That means he has now 1 assist above late Kobe Bryant, who has 187 assists now. So it's something to motivate him to still continue to increase the gap.
And even in this finals, he has,
he has
5 games to go.
5 games to go also.
Actually do that.
It's a very good one for him and for his team.
A lot of players have actually come to the fore during these finals. I mean, like, it was not when going into the finals, everybody was like, Steph Curry, yay. When you talk about the Warriors, that's all you hear. But a lot of players have actually stepped up and came to the fore for the Warriors, especially right now. And of course, Boston for not being in the finals for a very long time, coming into the finals this year, I think is something great for them as well. Something
good for them and something to prove to people that, okay, we've not been here for the past 4 or 5 years, but now we are here now. We want to continue to, because there's nothing that any professional basketballer wants in their career than playing at the finals.
The finals of the
NBA.
So
we're gonna see how interesting it's going to be.
We're talking about the NBA generally. How it has grown from strength to strength from years and years, and it's still going strong. You understand? It's a multi-billion-dollar business, and it's still growing. I mean, like, players are being taken care of, sponsors are there making their money. Can Nigeria borrow a leaf from something like that, so we can actually have a model so that we can do that? Because right now our basketball is in the doldrums. It's actually in limbo right now because we have been suspended from participating in international tournaments for 2 years, saying we need to revamp. So is this a kind of model that we can be able to look at to see, okay, fine, maybe we can get here in like the next 40, 50 years?
Well, okay, that's a good one, 40, 50 years.
Yes.
But I think maybe in the next 5 years, if you want to do it, we can do it.
Okay.
That's the truth. And one thing about this country is if we set our mind in doing something or achieving something, we have a way to go about it. That's the truth. Number one, we have to remove government interference from this, from sporting activities. Generally. Number one, just like our colleague, Adeni Ajishafe normally say, sport is fitness and business.
Exactly.
We have to look at it in form of business. Most of the owners of the NBA, of the basketball in America, they are private individuals. We have to bring that. That's the first thing that we need to do. So the government cannot be everywhere. They can't do everything for us. They can't hold on to everything. They can still have a share. They should throw it to the public. Let people that are interested, let them come in and invest. That is when the sport will gain more respect and more popularity than what we have currently now. And it's a game also that is being loved by a lot of Nigerians.
Exactly, because when immediately after football, I think it's basketball, when it comes to Nigeria. Yeah.
Definitely it's basketball after football, but look at what is happening right now. We're having faction left, right, and center up to the level that they have to suspend. So that means we have nothing. So they've done the good thing by suspending the 2 factions. Now, what have you put in place? What process have you started to make sure that we want to revamp, like we said? We have about 12-man committee
has been set up to do
and
that.
if you look at these 12 people, none of them, I think about only 2 of them, really understand the game of basketball. So what are we talking about? If you want to really do it, what we need to do is to set up a committee that is made up of ex-basketballers. investors. We have Zenith Bank who have been sponsoring the game of basketball in Nigeria to come in and to give their own advice. I think if we really want to do it in this country, we can really do it. But the way we are going now, sincerely, we are not ready to do it.
Because we have the people to actually do that. But
we have the
putting
people,
those people in the right places.
We have the people, we have the resources, but the people that will lead is the problem we are having.
Well, that's going to be a tough one, actually.
Very tough one.
Well, let's go back to the NBA finals, because that was what we started talking about. Seeing from what you've seen in the first 2 games, how do you think this one is going to swing? We're going back to Boston for the next one. So after Game 7, or will it even get to Game 7?
Well, I don't see it getting to Game 7.
Okay.
That's the truth. And I think it's going to be a tough match, because everybody right now, they are on the edge. They have something to prove and something to give to their spectators. And when you have about over 18,000 spectators watch the last game. Yeah. So also the supporters too will come out to do what? To cheer them up. And they will look at their weaknesses, because winning 3 out of the 4th quarter, it shows that it's not a fluke. It's something that they are prepared. I mean, they are prepared for. So I won't say it's over until it is over. Let's see what will happen. Let's enjoy the game.
Well, a lot of people are actually giving it to the Warriors, because they have more finals experience, or should I say, recent finals experience than Boston. So a lot of people actually giving it to the Warriors, and of course Steph Curry.
Well, I won't give it to the Warriors, because the Austin, when was the last time they played the final? About 5 years ago. So the fact that they don't have the final experience, they are determined to be where they are right now. So they will also be determined to make sure they break the record, to win it, to bounce back and get to where they used to be.
Because you know, back in the days of the Larry Bird and the rest of them, I mean, like Boston used to be fantastic.
In fact, it's like the Coca-Cola in Nigeria. If they ask you to go and buy mineral, you think that Coca-Cola is the only soft drink that we have in the country.
Exactly.
That is how Boston used to be in those days.
Exactly.
And they want to register and continue the way they used to be.
Because back then it was either the Boston Celtics or the LA Lakers.
So
those were the only
to me, I'm going to give it to them. We don't need to overrate them.
Really?
Yeah, we don't need to overrate them.
All right. Well, that remains to be seen. Let's see how actually that goes on. Well, moving away from basketball now, there's another sport that Nigeria is actually making a lot of inroads into these days, and that is beach volleyball. Now, beach volleyball is a sport that Nigeria is actually taking a keen interest to, and we're making lots of inroads into that. And recently, Nigeria and Benin Republic qualified for the African Youth Games on beach volleyball. So how do you see Nigeria's progression in beach volleyball? Because it's something that's alien to us, let's say, because it's not a sport that we've actually paid much attention to. But now we're actually getting into it, and the results are there for all to see.
Okay, I think it's not something that is alien to us.
Okay.
I recall vividly when I was in secondary school, we have it as part of the physical health education that we normally do every Tuesday between 10 to 11 o'clock. You go out there and just choose a sport of yours. It's because we've the educational curriculum needs to be revisited again and go back to the 70s and 80s. What do we used to do? They allow everybody to play volleyball, javelin, shot put, badminton.
Yes.
We used to have it, but now we don't have it again. It's only some part of the country, like Lagos, Badagry, that we now have volleyball because of the sound that you have around there that make it very interesting. And this competition, we qualify unbeaten. We won all our games, giving us the 12 points needed to top the group and to qualify the maximum point. So I see us doing very, very well, sincerely. And also, like you rightly said, the government also needs to concentrate their attention on football and Super Eagles and go to the other sports.
Exactly.
And give some attention to them. We're not saying you should neglect the game of football, but other sports also that they are giving us this joy and this glory, we should try as much as possible to give it to them.
There's usually this song and dance that we have every 4 years when it goes to the Olympics. We'll say, okay, next Olympics we'll do swimming, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll go to gymnastics, we'll do diving, we'll do all these things because we have them. We give ourselves a target for the next 4 years, but at the end of the day, we still don't do it. At the end of the day, we're still back to where we used to be. It was track and field and football, and then we used to be very good in boxing as well. But now, it's not what it used to be.
No, we're still good in boxing. We're still good in both the track and field events, but the preparation, the process is the problem that we have. We have this fire brigade approach that we are used to in this country. And at the end of every competition, we're supposed to start preparing for the next competition. But that's not in our case. Our own case is when it is like 6 months or 1 year, we now be open that, okay, don't worry, luck will be on our side. What about those people that have been preparing before that time? Like you rightly said, swimming, go to Niger Delta.
That's the thing. We have
Go to Lagos.
bodies of water and
boxing also.
Exactly.
Go around the stadium that we have in this country. You see people voluntarily on their own going there. They do it as an exercise. So now imagine if you give them the adequate training and the technical skills and making available the facility to make them to. We have them. We have the likes of Anthony Joshua, more than 20, 30 in this country. So that's the truth. So I think the government needs to really look into the sporting activities in this country and give adequate attention to others also. Boxing, swimming, the handball that you made mention, the basketball, we need to do that one. So to me, I'm not surprised about our performance, winning all our games and qualifying for the African Youth Game also, and I'm very sure we're going to come with something.
Okay, so do you think, all right now, with a certain level of investment, maybe, and certain level of attention, Nigeria can actually make it to the top of beach volleyball?
And also with accountability.
Okay.
If we have that, we're going to make it up. We're going to make it to the top.
Okay.
We're going to make it to the top. We should hold people accountable for whatever human resources we've deployed for the success of that activity.
And sometimes when you look at some of these sports, they're not things that require that much investment if you look at it. Because, all right, what does it take for you now to set up a field for beach volleyball? You need some sand and a net.
Okay. Okay, and if I want to take it on that, probably I'm not saying, I'm just saying probably, and the government, they are looking at a gigantic project that they can try and let me use the right word here, they can try and get something
out of it. Okay.
Now, for example, if you want to set up a handball pitch, probably doesn't cost you more than 500,000 or $1 million naira to do that. Now, can you now come and tell us that I've spent $50 million to do that one?
No, that won't be possible.
That won't be possible, and there'll be attention on them.
Exactly.
So what they are interested in is how to take Super Eagles to Mexico, to Ecuador,
exactly.
to go and play internet, because everything will be spent in what? Foreign currency in dollar. I think that is the problem you were asking me, because we have a lot of resources in this country that we can make use of and promote these sports activities.
And that's the thing, because just like we spoke about it doesn't really take much. Some of these facilities, you know,
at all, it doesn't.
Just once you have the space, you just put one or two things there, and that's all. We used to play football on the streets. Just all you need is just 2 makeshift posts and you're there. You know, it doesn't take much to have a makeshift boxing ring for you to go there and train.
I think they are looking at what they will get, not what we will get. That's the truth.
Because we
have the money.
It doesn't take that substantial amount of investment, and I think if the environment is there, because mostly that's the complaint. A lot of people actually make. We have private sector people who actually want to invest here, but they are not seeing the possibility of the returns because the facilities are actually not there and the environment is not suitable enough for them. Do you think that is a suitable argument?
Okay, I don't think that is an argument because the environment, they can make it conducive, but the problem we actually have is the government. The government, they are not ready to release this the hold they have on it because of their own political aspiration. Now, all what we're hearing in the country now is election. Now, who will go and meet? Let's take, for example, now they're having a governorship election in Osun State, and also they're having in the Ekiti State, and the Ekiti State governor also is contesting for. So, is it the football association in the Ekiti State or Osun State that will go and meet the governor that we're having a match next week, this also amount of money. You won't even have access to him, and that will continue for the next 2 or 3 months. That is a problem that we are having. In the case that they allow private investor to come in, they'll be the ones to manage it. They can still hold a percentage, 20%, 30%. They have their own people on the board to manage it together with the investor. But what they do is they want to have hold on this for their own political reason, and also probably because where they will spend 10 million, they tell us it's 100 million. It happens in this country. That's the reality.
And that's what's killing the sport.
That's why it's killing it. So if we don't get to the root of that, take it or leave it. If you tell our kids today now, That I don't know a game called javelin. They will ask you that. Which is
No, it's just javelin or shot put.
You do or short put.
Discus.
Discuss. They don't even know. They don't even know about it again because it's not there in the school again.
Exactly.
Those days you have to do it. You compete among yourself. You have the inter-house sport. I don't know if they are still doing inter-house sport.
I think
No,
some
not.
schools still do it.
Some schools still do it.
Yeah.
The parents too, they are always eager to go to the inter-house sport to do the parent race,
Exactly.
sack race,
Exactly.
a lot of things. So we need to go back to the grassroots. When I say grassroots, we need to go back to the secondary school to start it from there and make all these facilities available so we can catch them.
Well, you see, the problem is sometimes when you do that, we have situations whereby we'll say, okay, fine, we're going for under 16 tournament, that's for the schools. And then at the end of the day, you'll find people who look like me go in there to play under 16. All I have to do is just remove this and shave my head, and then I'll say that I'm under 16, and then we'll have to go, we'll hire these mercenaries, they go, they play for the glory, and we're not really thinking about how to develop the sport.
Yes, I know we have that, but sincerely, it has reduced unlike what we used to have before. I recall after a particular competition, I don't want to mention anybody's name, and they signed one of the rising star
At that time.
And when he got to his club, they look at him and say, "Man, you are still small. Just sit down. You're watching your senior brothers how they are playing." After 6 months, they look at him like, what's going on here? It's like
you're not growing.
You're not growing.
He was growing better.
He was growing better.
Horizontally, sorry.
Horizontally. So that happens a lot because of the lies about age issue. Look at Luis Figo. You know the people he played with? No, don't let me even go to Luis Figo because some people will be asking, who's Luis Figo? Messi. Messi played with two. Mikel Obi.
Exactly.
When did Mikel Obi stop playing for Nigeria? When did Mikel Obi stop playing internationally?
National football. Messi scoring 5 goals.
Messi scored 5 goals a few days ago.
Yeah.
So that is the problem that we have. So, but if you have a system whereby we catch them young,
Really
your
young.
16 should be 16. Your 20 should be 20. Recall there was a competition, I think Kanu Nwako participated then. Now they said the under 17 then they are too young. They shouldn't be using hand to throw.
Yes, they were doing kicking. Yes,
kick it.
there was a kicking. Yeah,
And you know they have to stop it because when they saw the way they are kicking it, they are like, no, they have to revert back the decision.
Exactly.
So that's a problem. That is why we are doing very well when it comes to under 17 and under 21 and even under 23. But when it comes to the national team, face me, I face you, as in just bring whatever age, see our performance. So we need to go back to that grassroots and do the right thing.
Going back to the drawing board, doing the right thing so that we can get to where we need to get. Hopefully, if we get it right, we might have to see players in the mold of Robert Lewandowski coming to play in the MPFL in the near future. Talking about Robert Lewandowski, is that somebody who seems to be on the move, or lots of stories go flying around? Is window shopping? Is it name dropping? We don't know. But he could use an obscure rule in the FIFA book that says that if you sign a contract, if a person signs a contract before the age of 28, he can actually buy himself out of that contract if he has 3 years remaining. So, and people are saying that he is going to actually try to use that rule to be able to force a move to Barcelona. Do you think actually moving to Barcelona now for Lewandowski, is it a good move?
Okay, I think we have to look at what he wants. That's the truth. And if you look at his statement, he said he has died. He has something that have died inside him. That he wants to live, he wants to move. And to be sincere with you, and this is a player that joined Bayern Munich in 2015, that's 7 years ago, and he has played 331 times, and he has scored 301 goals for them.
Absolutely amazing.
He has paid his dues, sincerely. And the truth about this issue is, just like in organization also that you work, because it's the same thing that applicable to them. He's working for Bayern Munich. Emotional resignation comes before the physical resignation. Once you've resigned from a place emotionally, there's nothing anybody can do to hold you back again. Nothing will motivate you than leaving.
And he actually said it.
And
he has checked out emotionally.
He has checked out already emotionally. He's down. He's out. They cannot get the best out of me. What they need to do right now is to be shopping for his replacement. He has paid his dues. he wants to go to Barcelona, and he said he's not going to another club. It is only Barcelona because he doesn't want a situation whereby they want to get money from Liverpool. They will not tell them to do a swap. No, he made that known that where he wants to go to is Barcelona or nowhere. They just respect it. You know, loyalty is a two-way thing. If I'm loyal to you, you have to be loyal to me back.
Exactly.
He has been loyal to Bayern Munich by spending 7 years, playing 333 times and scoring 301 goals for them.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely loyalty. Now, the club now have to be loyal back to him by supporting his career move and allow him to go, sincerely.
Well, Barcelona will be getting a very sweet deal there if Lewandowski actually decides to make the move. Well, but a lot of people are actually saying, do they have the money to actually pay him? Because Barcelona's financial status right now is a bit shaky.
Yeah, it's been shaken, but they have some players that they want to let go of. There are some players that they want to let go of. So probably the money they'll realize from those players, they'll use it.
But the problem is right now, they are not going to be bargaining from a position of strength. Everybody knows that they need to sell. So will they actually get the players for that value that they place on them?
They will. They will, because we have some of their players that their contract and they are expiring this season, and they don't have a hope of renew the contract for the players again. So they'll get their money one way or the other.
All right, well, that's something for us to look at, and we'll keep an eye on that for you as Robert Lewandowski sets to actually either stay or move from Bayern Munich. Well, another player that has actually created the headlines is Darwin Nunez from Benfica. A lot of people have been talking about it, and right now we are hearing that Liverpool is actually in the window as well. Manchester United has been touted a few years for a long time now during the season, and he's valued at £68 million. I've seen Darwin Nunez play. I've seen him play. But do you think he's worth 68 million?
Okay, and you know, we have the way we hype players at times, especially in the during the transfer window.
Exactly.
It's
as the agents now do.
He is a fantastic player, 22 years old. This season, he played 41 games, and he has scored 34 goals. So that means all the clubs we want to get in. And if you look at him also, or if you look at the Portuguese, once they come to Premier League, they have the history of doing very well. We have Ricardo, Manchester City. We have Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United. We also have CR7,
yeah, exactly.
the king himself, the real GOAT, is there also. So definitely him moving.
Raul Jimenez, Diogo Jota, all these guys.
Jota also, we have a lot of them there. So it shows that coming to Premier League is the best for him. That amount of money, £68 million, it's something that is questionable. If Bayern Munich is offering 25 million for Sadio Mane.
Well, maybe if you look at the age, Darwin Nunez is 22. Yes. Sadio Mane is like 31.
It's 30.
He's 30, it will soon be 31. So maybe that plays a factor too, because if I sign Darwin Nunez now, I know if I can have him on long-term basis, he might have like 10 more years now to play at the top of his game. But Sadio Mane is actually winding down, because when you cross that 30 mark in football, it's the trajectory goes down a bit.
Okay, I don't think age matters, but your performance and your track record of what you've done and what you are ready to do again. They can sign him for a year or 2 years. Lewandowski is leaving Bayern Munich at the age of 33 years. You know how many goals he scored this season? Last season, you know how many goals he scored also? So it's about the experience and what you have to offer.
So what 40-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic lead AC Milan to the title after 11 years.
Do you get the point? So the age also comes with the experience. Where the young ones will run to look for the ball, like in the days of Filippo Inzaghi, he knows where to wait for the ball. No, he waits for the ball, and he has the goal sense. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo also. As old as he is, look at Lionel Messi, as old as he is, look at what they are still doing. So I think, yes, age is a factor, but it's not a determinant factor of how much you pay a player. It's about your area of strength. Yes, he's a clinical finisher. And Manchester United, they need that. That's the truth. But the question is, will he afford to miss the European competition? I'm talking about Champions League next season by joining Manchester United. Or it will go with Liverpool, who are going to play in the Champions League, and they are hopefully there will be a title contender next season also.
Right, so we're looking at the two clubs now. Both of them. Let's look at it from the club's perspective. Who needed more? Is it Manchester United or Liverpool?
Okay, I know you didn't mention Chelsea, but I think Chelsea needed more. Because I think they are the only club now that doesn't have that prolific striker up front. Because you asked me, what do you think needed more? So that's why I'm giving you that free
Arsenal will also have an argument to make because they don't have a goal scorer now. Like I said, has left. Aubameyang has left.
What about Saka?
Well, Saka is not an out-and-out number 9. They play him on the wings.
So also Ronaldo.
Well, that's an argument for another day. Quickly, before we leave, let's still talk about a little bit of window shopping. It's been rumored that Chelsea are in the window for Ousmane Dembele, and they were contending with PSG, but PSG has reportedly stepped out from the race right now, and now Chelsea seem to be the front runners for Ousmane Dembele. So, do you think that is a possible move that could be made?
Well, I think it's still better than what they have currently now.
Okay.
That's the truth. And currently now is not wanted. It's like a weed at New Camp now. You know, a weed is a plant that grows in a place that you are not wanted.
Yeah, so it has to be uprooted.
So he has to be uprooted. So that's the situation that he found himself at Barcelona right now. He needs to leave. And if Chelsea come knocking, I think it's a very good one for him.
Will they be able to get the kind of money that they want on him? Because I think that was what stopped them from selling him a long time ago, because the offers were not coming in. Well, they spent a colossal amount of money to get him.
But I think he doesn't want to take a pay cut.
Okay.
That's the reason why he refused or frustrated with his agent to leave Barcelona at that time. Now it's going to be with a coach that they both had history together at Borussia Dortmund just for a year. He worked together with Thomas Tuchel. So that can be a factor that will motivate him to come to Chelsea. Then the issue of the money, I think that will be sorted out.
Okay, well, the issue of the money is a very serious issue, especially when you're talking about Barcelona right now, because Barcelona need to get their due.
Well, the new owner of Chelsea needs to make a statement that I'm here to make the fans. It's part of his statement that is here to make the fans happy and what the fans really need right now.
So you think he was going to splash the cash?
He's going to spend it, not splash it.
Well, spending the cash and not splashing it, that is something that we look forward to. So we'll keep an eye on that as Chelsea chase Ousmane Dembele and every other transfer rumour as well, or even if it is window shopping, we'll bring it to you right here on 360 Sports. And that's how we're going to wrap up the show today. Olawale Peters, thank you very much for coming. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure being with you.
All right, so that's how we're going to wrap it up on this show today. Keep a date with us as we keep bringing you the very best in sports all day, every day. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thank you very much for joining us.